You spend so much of your time getting in front of the right people, making sure that they're qualified and interested. But once you actually have a great prospect, does your sales proposal help close the sale, or does it actually create roadblocks to truly closing the sale? So many of my clients have never actually thought through what their sales proposal actually looks like and whether it's a tool that actually helps them close sales. Have you thought about it? Now, I can tell you that a great sales proposal has a massive impact on closing the sale. It really can be the difference between closing or not closing. And the right sales proposal can also be the difference between a really small sale or a massive sale. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 keys to a sales proposal that closes deals. You need to know these now. Check it out. Number 1, keep the sales proposal short. Under 3 pages max. Now there is such a temptation to put everything you've got, the entire kitchen sink, into the sales proposal. But the problem is that when you're giving a really big, long sales proposal to prospects, what are you ultimately doing to them? You're giving them homework. Imagine if someone came up to you and just gave you a binder full of content and said, "Here, read this. Oh, by the way, we want your money." It just doesn't make sense. Proposals must be short. And if your sales proposal is long, is even 3 pages long, chances are it's too long. Our proposals are always about 2 pages max. And so that means that the first page is really dedicated to understanding what their situation is, and then the second page is focused on the deliverables. And we want to keep this short. We want to keep it short so that way they actually read it and that they're not overwhelmed and turned off and just kind of procrastinate and look at it later. And also we want to keep it short because it forces us to think really sharply about what's most important that must go in here and what's all the stuff that doesn't have to go in here. Keeping your proposal short is going to make a huge impact on both the quality of your proposals and the likelihood that your prospect actually reads it. So all of those pages about us and our qualifications and all of the awesome things that we've ever done before, get rid of that stuff. All of the terms and conditions, unless you absolutely need it. For example, in the financial space where there are actual legal requirements, sure. But if you don't have those types of things, just get rid of it. Keep it really simple and to the point. Number 2, begin the sales proposal by restating the prospect's core objectives and challenges. Now, this is one of those things where it can't be boilerplate. There is such a temptation to just give every prospect essentially the same proposal. But this step really requires that we put some thought into the conversations that we've already had with the prospect. And by the way, if you don't know your prospect's core objectives and challenges as a result of your conversations, then you're not ready for the proposal. So this also forces us in the discovery phase of the sale to be really thorough, to really understand what they most care about. What are those objectives that they absolutely need to accomplish? And then what are the challenges that they're facing that are currently holding them back from achieving those objectives? If you are able to restate those core objectives and challenges in the first part of your proposal, what you're doing to the prospect is you're showing them that you really listened, you really paid attention, and you really understand what's going on in their world. By doing this, it's really creating so much value in this process because you're also just putting onto paper what's holding them back, what they want to accomplish. Chances are they haven't even really looked at those objectives and challenges on a piece of paper. So you're creating a level of value for them that they've really never thought about. And by doing this, you're going to have a huge level of differentiation from all of your competitors because they're not doing this. They're just sending out the same crappy boilerplate proposals that the prospect has seen a million times. You can be different right here by restating those core objectives and challenges. Number 3, create 3 options for working with you in your sales proposal. It is so tempting to put everything in your proposal in terms of the offering itself, to put it into one option and to just say, oh, you know what, we know exactly what they need and here's the one option. But the reality is you do not know exactly what your prospect is going to want exactly. Even for someone like me who does a really thorough, basically a 2-hour discovery meeting with my consulting clients, and yet at the end of that, I never know, are they going to be willing to go with the high-end, the Mercedes-Benz option? Or are they going to ultimately say, hey, you know what, we really just want to test this guy out and see how it goes. And so by creating 3 options for working with you in your sales proposal, you're creating a level of optionality. So on the low end, you're going to have basically the minimum option for working with you. It's going to be pared down. It's going to be basic. It's almost like a first step of sorts, but it's also less expensive. And then in the middle, it's a bit more. It's probably your core offering. And then on the high end, that third option is going to be the absolute Mercedes-Benz of options. It's the really high-end option. It's maybe an option that you've never even presented before because you thought to yourself, geez, this is such a big option. But by having the 3 options, that third high-end option is going to make the first 2 options look like a no-brainer. And so you're not only creating optionality that gives your prospect the desire and the ability to really feel like, hey, you know what? I don't have to shop around because I've got 3 options here. But it's also creating value for that middle option in particular. And you know what? Sometimes prospects just choose that third option. I can't tell you the number of times my prospects have just gone with that third option. And I think to myself, there's no way they're going to choose this. It's so expensive. And they choose that third option because they're saying, you know what? I trust this person and I want the absolute best. Some people just buy the best. Create that third option. It's going to make that second option seem like a no-brainer. And you know what? Sometimes you're going to get those big sales with that third option. This is one of the most easy tactical changes to make, and it's going to have a huge impact both on the close rate of your sales and also the sales size, the average sales size, because you're going to make way bigger sales. Number 4, only address the prospect's stated issues in your sales proposal. There is such a temptation, like I said before, to throw everything at the prospect, everything that you can do for them. But you know what? Your prospect doesn't care about everything that you can do for them. All they care about is that you are going to do what you need to do in order to solve their challenge. So only put in the proposal the solutions to the stated issues that you have already discussed. Have you ever been in a sales situation where you were just on the goal line, you were about to close the sale, and then you say, oh, by the way, let me show you one last thing that we can be doing. And then suddenly the prospect's like, I don't know, I don't really need that. And suddenly you're in backpedal mode because you're like, oh crap, I just went on a limb, and it did not work. We don't want to take those kinds of risks. There are times to take risks in sales, but not here with the proposal. Only address what the prospect has already stated is an issue and a challenge. Nothing else. Think of the car buying experience that you might have had. You go to a dealership and you say, look, I need a car for my family. And then the car dealer, the salesman says, oh, we've also got this thing. It's so fast. It's got so much horsepower. And the prospect immediately is like, well, I don't want a fast car. I want a car for my family that's safe, right? Just address the challenges that they have already talked about. Number 5, make the sales proposal a contract that can be signed. This is really important. There's a tendency to have to make a second step after the prospect accepts the proposal. So the prospect says, yeah, we'll move forward. We'd like to go with option 2. And then you say, okay, great. I'll send over the contract. That simple step is now creating a barrier to closing the sale because life happens. Your prospects are busy. If they're important people, which I hope they are, then they're busy and they're likely to get distracted and sidetracked and other things are going to come up. Make the proposal itself a contract that can be signed. Now, again, I understand there are certain industries where there has to be a big contract and all the fancy jargon and all the lawyer stuff, fine. But still, ideally make it so the proposal is still signable. And so that way it at least feels like a signed contract. Maybe there's a follow-up contract that has to come after, but at least lock in the deal and make it so that way you can at least get that first payment initially, hopefully, as a result of that signed contract. We instituted this a while back and it made a huge difference because you know what? Things happen. Things can fall apart. And this is just one way to bridge that second step that just doesn't have to happen. And so our proposals are always contracts. The prospect signs the proposal, it is the contract. That's it. If they want to cancel down the road, they cancel down the road. But it is the contract. It makes things so easy. This is a tactical, easy thing that hopefully you can make an impact with your own selling with. So there are the 5 keys to a sales proposal that closes deals. I want to hear from you. Which of these ideas did you find most useful? Be sure to share below in the comment section to get involved in the conversation. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have an awesome free ebook on 25 tips to crush your sales goals. Just click right here to get it instantly, somewhere around here. Seriously, just click right here. Also, if you got some value, please like this video below on YouTube. It really helps me out. And be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking to my face right about here to get access to a new video just like this one each week.